Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. What are they asking one another about? About the momentous news, over which they disagree. But no, they will come to know. Again, no, they will come to know. Have we not smoothed out the earth like a bed, and made the mountains as its pegs, and created you in pairs, and made your sleep for rest, and made the night as a cover, and made the day for livelihood, and built above you 7 mighty heavens, and placed in them a shining lamp, and sent down from rain clouds pouring water, producing by grain and various plants, and dense the orchards. Indeed, the day of final decision is an appointed time. It is the day the trumpet will be blown, and you will all come forth in crowds. The sky will be split open, becoming many gates, and the mountains will be blown away, becoming like a mirage. Indeed, hell is lying in ambush, as a home for the transgressors, where they will remain for endless ages. There they will not taste any coolness or drink, except boiling water and oozing pus. A fitting reward, for they never expected any reckoning, and totally rejected our signs, and we have everything recorded precisely. So the deniers will be told, taste the punishment, for all you will get from us is more torment. Indeed, the righteous will have salvation, gardens, vineyards, and full-bosom maidens of equal age, and full cups of pure wine, never to hear any idle talk or lying therein. A fitting reward as a generous gift from your Lord, the Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything in between, the most compassionate. No one will dare speak to him. On the day the Holy Spirit and the angels will stand in ranks. None will talk, except those granted permission by the most compassionate and whose words are true. That day is the ultimate truth. So let whoever wills take the path leading back to their Lord. Indeed, we have warned you of an imminent punishment the day every person will see the consequences of what their hands have done, and the disbelievers will cry, I wish I were dust. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. By those angels stripping out evil souls harshly, and those pulling out good souls gently, and those gliding through heaven swiftly, and those taking the lead vigorously, and those conducting affairs obediently. Consider the day when the quaking blast will come to pass, followed by a second blast. The deniers' hearts on that day will be trembling in horror, with their eyes downcast. But now they ask mockingly, will we really be restored to our former state, even after we have been reduced to decayed bones? Adding, then such a return would be a total loss for us. But indeed, it will take only one mighty blast, and at once they will be above ground. Has the story of Moses reached you, O prophet? His Lord called him in the sacred valley of Uahe, commanding, go to Pharaoh, for he has truly transgressed all bounds, and say, would you be willing to purify yourself, and let me guide you to your Lord, so that you will be in awe of him? Then Moses showed him the great sign, but he denied and disobeyed Allah, then turned his back, striving against the truth. Then he summoned his people and called out, saying, I am your Lord, the Most High. So Allah overtook him, making him an example in his life and the next. Surely, and this is a lesson for whoever stands in awe of Allah, which is harder to create, you or the sky, when he built it, raising it high and forming it flawlessly. He dimmed its night and brought forth its daylight. As for the earth, he spread it out as well, bringing forth its water and pastures, and setting the mountains firmly upon it, all as a means of sustenance for you and your animals. But when the supreme disaster comes to pass, the day every person will remember all their striving, and the hellfire will be displayed for all to see. Then as for those who transgressed and preferred the fleeting life of this world, the hellfire will certainly be their home. And as for those who were in awe of standing before their Lord and restrain themselves from evil desires, paradise will certainly be their home. They ask you, O prophet, regarding the hour, when will it be? But it is not for you to tell its time. That knowledge rests with your Lord alone. Your duty is only to warn whoever is in awe of it. On the day they see it, it will be as if they had stayed in the world no more than one evening or its morning. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. He frowned and turned his attention away, simply because the blind man came to him interrupting. You never know, O Prophet, perhaps he may be purified, or he may be mindful, benefiting from the reminder. As for the one who was indifferent, you gave him your undivided attention, even though you were not to blame if he would not be purified. But as for the one who came to you eager to learn, being in awe of Allah, you were inattentive to him. But no, this revelation is truly a reminder. So let whoever wills be mindful of it. It is written on pages held in honor, highly esteemed, purified, by the hands of angel scribes, honorable and virtuous. Condemned are disbelieving humans. How ungrateful they are to Allah. From what substance did he create them? He created them from a sperm drop and ordained their development. Then he makes the way easy for them, then causes them to die and be buried. Then when he wills, he will resurrect them. But no, they have failed to comply with what he ordered. Let people then consider their food, how pour down rain in abundance, and meticulously split the earth open for sprouts, causing grain to grow in it, as well as grapes and greens, and olives and palm trees and dense orchards, and fruit and fodder, all as a means of sustenance for you and your animals. Then, when the deafening blast one comes to pass, on that day every person will flee from their own siblings, and even their mother and father, and even their spouse and children, for then everyone will have enough concern of their own. On that day some faces will be bright, laughing and rejoicing, while other faces will be dusty, casting gloom. Those are the disbelievers, the wicked sinners. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. When the sun is put out, and when the stars fall down, and when the mountains are blown away, and when pregnant camels are left untended, and when wild beasts are gathered together, and when the seas are set on fire, and when the souls and their bodies are paired once more, and when baby girls, buried alive, are asked for what crime they were put to death, and when the records of deeds are laid open, and when the sky is stripped away, and when the hellfire is fiercely flared up, and when paradise is brought near. On that day each soul will know what deeds it has brought along. I do swear by the receding stars, which travel and hidi in the night as it falls, and the day as it breaks. Indeed, this Quran is the word of Allah delivered by Gabriel, a noble messenger angel, full of power, held in honor by the Lord of the throne, obeyed there in heaven, and trustworthy. And your fellow man, one is not insane. And he did see that angel on the clear horizon, and he does not withhold what is revealed to him of the unseen. And this Quran is not the word of an outcast devil. So what other path would you take? Surely this Quran is only a reminder to the whole world, to whoever of you wills to take the straight way. But you cannot will to do so, except by the will of Allah, the Lord of all worlds.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, when the sky splits open, and when the stars fall away, and when the seas burst forth, and when the graves spill out, then each soul will know what it has set forth or left behind. O humanity, what has emboldened you against your Lord, the most generous, who created you, fashioned you, and perfected your design, molding you in whatever form He will. But no, in fact, you deny the final judgment, while you are certainly observed by vigilant, honorable angels, recording everything. They know whatever you do. Indeed, the virtuous will be in bliss, and the wicked will be in hell, burning in it on judgment day, and they will have no escape from it. What will make you realize what judgment day is? Again, what will make you realize what judgment day is? It is the day no soul will be of any benefit to another whatsoever. For all authority on that day belongs to Allah entirely. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Woe to the defrauders, those who take full measure when they buy from people, but give less when they measure or weigh for buyers. Do such people not think that they will be resurrected for a tremendous day, the day all people will stand before the Lord of all worlds? But no. The wicked are certainly bound for side Shan 1 in the depths of hell. And what will make you realize what side Shan is? A fate already sealed. Woe on that day to the deniers, those who deny judgment day. None would deny it except every evil-doing transgressor. Whenever our revelations are recited to them, they say, ancient fables. But no, in fact, their hearts have been stained by all the evil they used to commit. Undoubtedly, they will be sealed off from their Lord on that day. Moreover, they will surely burn in hell, and then be told, this is what you used to deny. But no. The virtuous are certainly bound for Elion 1 in elevated gardens. And what will make you realize what Elion is? A fate already sealed, witnessed by those nearest to Allah. Surely the virtuous will be in bliss, seated on canopied couches, gazing around. You will recognize on their faces the glow of delight. They will be given a drink of sealed, pure wine, whose last sip will smell like musk. So let whoever aspires to this strive diligently, and this drink's flavor will come from Tasnim, a spring from which those nearest to Allah will drink. Indeed, the wicked used to laugh at the believers, wink to one another whenever they passed by, and muse over these exploits upon returning to their own people. And when they saw the faithful, they would say, these people are truly astray, even though they were not sent as keepers over the believers. But on that day the believers will be laughing at the disbelievers. As they sit on canopied couches, looking on, the believers will be asked, have the disbelievers not been paid back for what they used to do? In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. When the sky bursts open, obeying its Lord as it must, and when the earth is flattened out, and ejects all its contents, and becomes empty, obeying its Lord as it must, surely you will all be judged. O humanity, indeed, you are laboring restlessly towards your Lord, and will eventually meet the consequences. As for those who are given their record in their right hand, they will have an easy reckoning, and will return to their people joyfully. And as for those who are given their record in their left hand, from behind their backs, they will cry for instant destruction, and will burn in the blazing fire. For they used to be prideful among their people, thinking they would never return to Allah. Yes, they would. Surely their Lord has always been all-seeing of them. So I do swear by the twilight, and by the night, and whatever it envelops, and by the moon when it waxes full, you will certainly pass from one state to another. So what is the matter with them that they do not believe? And when the Quran is recited to them, they do not bow down in submission. In fact, the disbelievers persist in denial, but Allah knows best whatever they hide. So give them good news of a painful punishment. But those who believe and do good will have a never-ending reward. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the sky full of constellations, and the promised day of judgment, and the witness, and what is witnessed, condemned are the makers of the ditch, the fire pit filled with fuel, when they sat around it, watching what they had ordered to be done to the believers, who they resented for no reason other than belief in Allah the Almighty, the praiseworthy, the one to whom belongs the kingdom of the heavens and earth. And Allah is a witness over all things. Those who persecute the believing men and women, and then do not repent, will certainly suffer the punishment of hell and the torment of burning. Surely those who believe and do good will have gardens under which rivers flow. That is the greatest triumph. Indeed, the crushing grip of your Lord is severe, for he is certainly the one who originates and resurrects all, and he is the all-forgiving, all-loving, Lord of the throne, the all-glorious, doer of whatever he wills. As the story of the destroyed forces reached you, O Prophet, the forces of Pharaoh and Thamed, yet the disbelievers still persist in denial, but Allah encompasses them from all sides. In fact, this is a glorious Quran, recorded in a preserved tablet. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the heaven and the nightly star. And what will make you realize what the nightly star is? It is the star of piercing brightness. There is no soul without a vigilant angel recording everything. Let people then consider what they were created from. They were created from a spurting fluid, stemming from between the backbone and the rib cage. Surely he is fully capable of bringing them back to life. On the day all secrets will be disclosed, then one will have neither power nor any helper. By the sky with its recurring cycles, and the earth with its sprouting plants. Surely this Quran is a decisive word, and is not to be taken lightly. They are certainly devising evil plans, but I too am planning, so bear with the disbelievers, O Prophet. Let them be for just a little while. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, glorify the name of your Lord, the Most High, who created and perfectly fashioned all, and who ordained precisely and inspired accordingly, and who brings forth green pasture, then reduces it to withered chaff. We will have you recite the Quran, O Prophet, so you will not forget any of it, unless Allah wills otherwise. He surely knows what is open and what is hidden. We will facilitate for you the way of ease, so always remind with the Quran even. If the reminder is beneficial only to some, those in awe of Allah will be mindful of it, but it will be shunned by the most wretched, who will burn in the greatest fire, where they will not be able to live or die. Successful indeed are those who purify themselves, remember the name of their Lord, and pray. But you deniers only prefer the life of this world, even though the hereafter is far better and more lasting. This is certainly mentioned in the earlier scriptures, the scriptures of Abraham and Moses. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, as the news of the overwhelming event reached you, O Prophet, on that day some faces will be downcast, totally overburdened, exhausted, burning in a scorching fire, left to drink from a scalding spring. They will have no food except a foul, thorny shrub, neither nourishing nor satisfying hunger. On that day other faces will be glowing with bliss, fully pleased with their striving, in an elevated garden, where no idle talk will be heard, and it will be a running spring, along with thrones raised high, and cups set at hand, and fine cushions lined up, and splendid carpets spread out. Do they not ever reflect on camels how they were masterfully created, and the sky how it was raised high, and the mountains how they were firmly set up, and the earth how it was leveled out? So Continue to remind all, O prophet, for your duty is only to remind. You are not there to compel them to believe, but whoever turns away, persisting in disbelief, then Allah will inflict upon them the major punishment. Surely to us is their return, then surely with us is their reckoning.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the dawn, in the 10 nights, in the even and the odd, in the night when it passes. Is all this not a sufficient oath for those who have sense? Did you not see how your Lord dealt with the people of Iram with their great stature, unmatched in any other land, and Thamed who carved their homes into the rocks, in the stone valley, and the Pharaoh of mighty structures? They all transgressed throughout the land, spreading much corruption there. So your Lord unleashed on them a scourge of punishment, for your Lord is truly vigilant. Now, whenever a human being is tested by their Lord through his generosity and blessings, they boast, "My Lord has deservedly honored me." But when he tests them by limiting their provision, they protest, "My Lord has undeservedly humiliated me." Absolutely not. In fact, you are not even gracious to the orphan, nor do you urge one another to feed the poor, and you devour others' inheritance greedily, and love wealth fervently. Enough, when the earth is entirely crushed over and over, and your Lord comes to judge with angels, rank upon rank, and hell is brought forth on that day. This is when every disbelieving person will remember their own sins. But what is the use of remembering then? They will cry, "I wish I had sent forth something good for my true life." On that day he will punish them severely, like no other, and bind them tightly, like no other. Allah will say to the righteous, "O tranquil soul, return to your Lord, well pleased with him and well pleasing to him. So join my servants and enter my paradise. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, I do swear by this city of Mecca, even though you, O Prophet, are subject to abuse in this city, and by every parent and their child. Indeed, we have created humankind in constant struggle. Do they think that no one has power over them? Boasting, I have wasted enormous wealth. Do they think that no one sees them? Have we not given them 2 eyes, a tongue, and 2 lips, and shown them the 2 ways of right and wrong? If only they had attempted the challenging path of goodness instead. And what will make you realize what attempting the challenging path is? It is to free a slave, or to give food in times of famine, to an orphan relative, or to a poor person in distress, and above all to be one of those who have faith, and urge each other to perseverance and urge each other to compassion. These are the people of the right. As for those who deny our signs, they are the people of the left. The fire will be sealed over them. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the sun and its brightness, and the moon as it follows it, and the day as it unveils it, and the night as it conceals it, and by heaven and the one who built it, and the earth and the one who spread it, and by the soul and the one who fashioned it, then with the knowledge of right and wrong inspired it. Successful indeed is the one who purifies their soul, and doomed is the one who corrupts it. Thane rejected the truth out of arrogance, when the most wicked of them was roused to kill the she-camel. But the messenger of Allah warned them, "Do not disturb Allah's camel and her turn to drink." Still they defied him and slaughtered her. So their Lord crushed them for their crime, leveling all to the ground. He has no fear of consequences. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the night when it covers, and the day when it shines, and by the one who created male and female. Surely the ends you strive for are diverse. As for the one who is charitable, mindful of Allah, and firmly believes in the finest reward, we will facilitate for them the way of ease. And as for the one who is stingy, indifferent to Allah, and staunchly denies the finest reward, we will facilitate for them the path of hardship, and their wealth will be of no benefit to them. When they tumble into hell, It is certainly upon us alone to show the way to guidance, and surely to us alone belong this life and the next. And so I have warned you of a raging fire, in which none will burn except the most wretched, who deny and turn away, but the righteous will be spared from it, who donate some of their wealth only to purify themselves, not in return for someone's favors, but seeking the pleasure of their Lord, the Most High. They will certainly be pleased. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the morning sunlight, and the night when it falls still, your Lord, O Prophet, has not abandoned you, nor has he become hateful of you, and the next life is certainly far better for you than this one, and surely your Lord will give so much to you that you will be pleased. Did he not find you as an orphan, then sheltered you? Did he not find you unguided, then guided you? And did he not find you needy, then satisfied your needs? So do not oppress the orphan, nor repulse the beggar, and proclaim the blessings of your Lord. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, have we not uplifted your heart for you, O Prophet, relieved you of the burden which weighed so heavily on your back, and elevated your renown for you? So, surely with hardship comes ease. Surely with that hardship comes more ease. So once you have fulfilled your duty, strive in devotion, turning to your Lord alone with hope. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the fig and the olive of Jerusalem, and Mount Sinai, in this secure city of Mecca. Indeed, we created humans in the best form, but we will reduce them to the lowest of the low in hell. Except those who believe and do good, they will have a never-ending reward. Now, what makes you deny the final judgment? Is Allah not the most just of all judges? In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, read, O Prophet, in the name of your Lord who created humans from a clinging clot. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught humanity what they knew not. Most certainly, one exceeds all bounds once they think they are self-sufficient. But surely to your Lord is the return of all. Have you seen the man who prevents a servant of ours from praying? What if this servant is rightly guided, or encourages righteousness? What if that man persists in denial and turns away? Does he not know that Allah sees all? But no, if he does not desist, we will certainly drag him by the forelock, a lying, sinful forelock. So let him call his associates. We will call the wardens of hell. Again, no, never obey him, O Prophet. Rather, continue to prostrate and draw near to Allah. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Indeed, it is we who sent this Quran down on the night of glory. And what will make you realize what the night of glory is? The night of glory is better than 1,000 months. That night the angels and the Holy Spirit descend by the permission of their Lord for every decreed matter. It is all peace until the break of dawn. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. The disbelievers from the people of the book and the polytheists were not going to desist from disbelief until the clear proof came to them. A messenger from Allah, reciting scrolls of utmost purity, containing upright commandments. It was not until this clear proof came to the people of the book that they became divided about his prophethood, even though they were only commanded to worship Allah alone with sincere devotion to him in all uprightness, establish prayer, and pay alms tax. That is the upright way. Indeed, those who disbelieve from the people of the book and the polytheists will be in the fire of hell to stay there forever. They are the worst of all beings. Indeed, those who believe and do good, they are the best of all beings. Their reward with their Lord will be gardens of eternity, under which rivers flow, to stay there forever and ever. Allah is pleased with them, and they are pleased with him. This is only for those in awe of their Lord. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, when the earth is shaken in its ultimate quaking, and when the earth throws out all its contents, and humanity cries, "What is wrong with it?" On that day, the earth will recount everything. having been inspired by your Lord to do so. On that day, people will proceed in separate groups to be shown the consequences of their deeds. So whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it, and whoever does an atom's weight of evil will see it. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the galloping, panting horses, striking sparks of fire with their hoofs, launching raids at dawn, stirring up clouds of dust, and penetrating into the heart of enemy lines. Surely humankind is ungrateful to their Lord, and they certainly attest to this, and they are truly extreme in their love of worldly gains. Do they not know that when the contents of the graves will be spilled out, and the secrets of the hearts will be laid bare? Surely their Lord is all aware of them on that day. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the striking disaster. What is the striking disaster? And what will make you realize what the striking disaster is? It is the day people will be like scattered moths, and the mountains will be like carded wool. So as for those whose scale is heavy with good deeds, they will be in a life of bliss. And as for those whose scale is light, their home will be the abyss. And what will make you realize what that is? It is a scorching fire. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, competition for more gains diverts you from Allah until you end up in your graves. But no, you will soon come to know. Again, no, you will soon come to know. Indeed, if you were to know your fate with certainty, you would have acted differently. But you will surely see the hellfire. Again, you will surely see it with the eye of certainty. Then, on that day, you will definitely be questioned about your worldly pleasures. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the passage of time, surely humanity is in grave loss, except those who have faith, do good, and urge each other to the truth, and urge each other to perseverance. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, woe to every backbiter, slanderer, who amasses wealth greedily and counts it repeatedly, thinking that their wealth will make them immortal. Not at all. Such a person will certainly be tossed into the crusher. And what will make you realize what the crusher is? It is Allah's kindled fire, which rages over the hearts. It will be sealed over them, tightly secured with long braces. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, have you not seen, O Prophet, how your Lord dealt with the army of the elephant? Did he not frustrate their scheme? For he sent against them flocks of birds that pelted them with stones of baked clay, leaving them like chewed-up straw. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, at least for the favor of making Quraysh habitually secure in their trading caravan to Yemen in the winter and Syria in the summer. Let them worship the Lord of this sacred house, who has fed them against hunger and made them secure against fear. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, have you seen the one who denies the final judgment? That is the one who repulses the orphan and does not encourage the feeding of the poor. So woe to those hypocrites who pray, yet are unmindful of their prayers, those who only show off and refuse to give even the simplest aid. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, indeed, we have granted you, O Prophet, abundant goodness. So pray and sacrifice to your Lord alone. Only the one who hates you is truly cut off from any goodness. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, say, O Prophet, O you disbelievers, I do not worship what you worship, nor do you worship what I worship. I will never worship what you worship, nor will you ever worship what I worship. You have your way, and I have my way. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, say, O Prophet, he is Allah one and indivisible, Allah the sustainer needed by all. He has never had offspring, nor was he born, and there is none comparable to him. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, say, O Prophet, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak, from the evil of whatever he has created. and from the evil of the night when it grows dark, and from the evil of those witches casting spells by blowing onto knots, and from the evil of an envier when they envy. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, say, O prophet, I seek refuge in the Lord of humankind, the master of humankind, the God of humankind, from the evil of the lurking whisperer, who whispers into the hearts of humankind, from among jinn and humankind,